Good evening, everyone. I'm Amanda Hunt, the head of Public Engagement, Learning, and Impact. Welcome to Free Thursday Night and to this evening's program. Every time we gather in this space, I say thank you for joining us. And tonight, I mean that more than ever. It's really important to be together. It has made me feel better just hearing your laughter and chatter and just knowing that we're here to be in a space of art and community together. So thank you. Thank you for being present and coming together in a time of duress. Our communities here are so strong, and I am so proud to be a part of it. Layli Long Soldier has traveled here to be with us tonight to share her words. Layli is a renowned writer, visual artist, and activist, and longtime friend of Dyani White Hawk's, who she will be joined by later in conversation. Layli contributed a stunning essay to the Love Language Catalogue to accompany Dyani's stunning exhibition in our galleries. I hope you've all seen it. The piece is entitled A History and a Presence of Our Love Languages. Long Soldier is a citizen of the Oglala Lakota Nation and earned a BFA from the Institute of American Indian Arts and an MFA with honors from Bard College. She is the author of the chapbook Chromosomery, that's a tongue twister, 2010, and the full-length collection Whereas, 2017, which won the National Books Critics Circle Award and was a finalist for the National Book Award. She will be signing that.
Hi, good evening. Can you hear me? Yeah? Okay. First of all, thank you so much. As you said, it's so nice to see everyone here. I know that it's a difficult time, and so it's nice to be here with you. Oh, my bad. Did I do something? Oh, here we go. And also, thank you so much to Dyani, to the Walker, everyone from the Walker. You've been so kind, so hospitable, warm, generous. So thank you so much. Thank you. Let's see. I'm going to read some work from my forthcoming manuscript titled We, which if you place an E over the, an accent mark over the E, it can be read as We, which means blood in Lakota. So the book and tonight's reading is dedicated to Native women, my relatives, sister friends, fellow artists, scholars, writers, mentors, and elders. Likewise to those whom I admire from afar, who contribute to their community's well-being, vitality, and growth. To our grandmothers who bless our families in present day, as well as those who live in our hearts from generations before. And to those who nurture our young ones with indescribable strength, wisdom, humor, and tenderness. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for your ojanjang. And this is also among those women dedicated to Dyani's mom tonight. Okay, I'm going to warn all of you. My reading is a little top heavy tonight. So we're starting with some work that's a little heavy, maybe centered on grief, but towards the end, I think I tried to make it lift a little. So just bear with me. Trigger warning, I guess. Okay. This section is titled "A Line Through Grief." It comes from, the title comes from an exhibit that I participated in. It was held at the Woodland School in Montreal, Canada. I made these 3 balsa wood boxes. Here is what little signs I placed above each box. The top is on the left box. In this box, please share the names of people, places, or parts of yourself that you have lost, which you are grieving. In this box, please share questions you have as you are grieving. In this box, please share suggestions or methods for dealing with grief. So at the end of the 3 months, it was up for 3 months, the installation of boxes. And at the end of the installation, the curators sent back hundreds and hundreds of pieces of paper that people had submitted. And with those pieces of paper, with everyone's names and questions and methods for dealing with grief, I wove those together as little poems. So the following I consider to be like group poems. I miss you. I wear your wristwatch and use your belongings as daily objects. I try to inspire myself as you did for yourself. I sit and feel the sun on my face, then talk to you and ask questions as if you were here. The round face on your watch, your face. The reliable second hand, your hand. Beloved uncle, how does time dissolve grief? If it has changed me forever. In my grief, there is a natural cycle. When I remember how she laughed, I light a candle. Then I think about how she grieved. As she did, I meditate. I do physical activity, then philosophical inquiry. I have asked over and over, how can I cross time? Could I have helped her? Was it my fault? What can I learn from this? I'm open. I try to see a single leaf in a new way. As a tree, as paper. Be patient, I tell myself, until I remember her laughter once again. I want her to be here for me. Take my hand, kiss my face. I long to lean into her shoulder and cry, what do I do now? Excuse me. Mi corazón. How do I go on? I sing as you told me to do. I listen to my own voice, comforting me when I need grounding. A different me, speaking to me, praying for me. Even so, I'm in constant anticipation of what could come next. What is my future? Will I become wiser or less sympathetic? When I was with you, I lived in intuition, emotional intelligence. I am dumb now. Will I remember you or what you taught me? Do I have better chances of remembering you if I keep asking, if I drink water, if I honor my emotions, if I share my grief with others, if I breathe in 1, 2, 3, if I breathe out, if I watch a sad movie, if I take a walk, if I continue on a planet without you, if I write this critique of melancholy. My mother, my childhood, my mind, my ability to love without fear, gone. Love is always hidden somewhere, I'm told. I cry, I immerse myself in music that brings me back to you. I walk about in the early mornings and take note of the birds singing. Why'd you do it? How do I reach a point of forgiveness? I offer tobacco. I look at the sky. Mama, my center, did I lose you or did you lose me? Grandfather, what is my identity? We know you were from here, but we don't know much more. We lost our homeland, self-assuredness, sense of purpose. I may have even lost eloquence, I don't know. Do I have a part in this community if I don't speak the language or have the love of family and sense of belonging? We make new memories in the same locations. I'm told there's no right way to grieve. So I gather paper, pen, envelope, stamps to write a letter to the land. I begin with my life story. At the hands of this world, I've lost my innocence. I read the world news. I hold others' stories close. I look at their art. I see their experiences in mine. At home, I surround myself with things that made you happy. Some days I stay in bed. Other days I get outside and stand in the garden you tended so diligently. Did I really know you? I make my own art. I paint in your style and celebrate your life. Is grief about mythologizing? My darling, can you hear me? I've lost my hair. And this is the last one of the set. I'm just going to have some water really quick. My ancestors, my grandparents, my grandmother, ma grand-mère, grandma, nana, abuela, grandpa, mon grand-père. Excuse my pronunciation. Sorry. Ma mère, mother, mom, mama, my mother's smile. Papa, dad, dada, my biological father. My links to my dad. My uncle, auntie, my great aunts, the family I never met, but whom I resemble, my sister, my trans sisters, my friendships with my sisters who are not physically dead, but are dead to me, my brother, my little brother, mon frère, my cousin, my childhood, my inner child, the little me, my innocence, my childhood friend, my closest friend, my best friend, my fellow artists, my heart, my love, the love of my life, my beloved, my lover, my life mate, my partner, my soul, my darling, the days I was loved, my wife, my husband, my ex, my wedding, my reproductive parts, my virility, the children I'll never have, my son, my daughter, my godson, my goddaughter, the love of my family, my ability to love, my hope for love, my self-love, my dignity, my pride, my self-assuredness, my old self, my joy, my radiance, my pain-free spine, my immune system, my hair, my physical safety, my bodily security, my trust, my excitement, my enthusiasm, my energy, my euphoria, my courage, my confidence, my voice, my old beliefs, my grandmother's house, my family's history, our family home, my pets, my cat, the path beside the house, the cold floors in the morning, the fireplace, the rocks, the ocean, our island, the woods, the burning sand, the pine smell, my homeland, my citizenship, our language, a language I never learned, my studio, my creativity, my center, me, myself, my true self, my mind, a ghost. I carry you with me, your shirt, the scent, your books, your piano, your favorite song, your stories, your photos, your advice, your warnings. Then I lie on the ground and I allow the earth to hold my weight. Very good. We should do an inhale. Breathe in. I told you it was top heavy. We're going to do other things now. I'm going to read from a portion of my book titled 184 X's. And I actually wrote this piece for a movie called Lakota Nation versus United States. So the filmmakers came to me and asked if I would maybe write something for their film. And so I did. I wrote something, and I worked with the 1868 Treaty of Fort Laramie. And the first draft that I gave the filmmakers was very different than what it ended up being for the book. But I'm going to read some of the sections that, excuse me, Jeff Schatz helped me edit so carefully. So thank you, Jeff, by the way. Thank you. In this piece, I have engaged with the 1868 Treaty of Fort Laramie, which determined the land base and crucial legal agreements between the U.S. government and nine bands of the Oceti-Sakowin, along with the Honone, which is the Arapaho, I think, and Nitsitapi, which is Blackfeet, nations. This contract set land boundaries that extended across several western states, including more than half of South Dakota. Most importantly, it included the Black Hills, our place, oh, look, it should not be our place of our, it should be the place of our. We have to catch that, by the way. Noted. The place of our origin, and spiritual center. This is dedicated to those 184 leaders who could not read this agreement and could not sign their names with anything other than X's. I want to apologize also because on this screen, it's on this, strange display that's about this big. So my eyesight is not, I'm sorry about that. My eyesight is not good. Okay. I could choose any of the treaty articles to peel, layer by layer, X by X. For now, I choose Treaty Article 7, as I've watched blades of this X mark crisscross the necks of our grandparents, mothers, fathers, aunties, and uncles. Braid by braid, X by X, I examine the cutting force of each letter. In order to ensure the civilization of the Indians entering into this treaty, the necessity of education is admitted, especially of each of them, as are or may be settled on said agricultural reservations, and they, therefore, pledge themselves to compel their children, male and female, between the ages of 6 and 16 years, to attend school. X marks polysemous words in English that function as both nouns and verbs. For example, X marks the phrase, quote, the civilization of, wherein civilization serves as the eradicating verb acted upon our people. However, another X marks the more important term of reference, a noun, as in the civilization of the Ocheti Shakoin, a vibrant and varied culture with developed societies, councils, leaders, moral codes, spiritual laws, arts, philosophies, medicinal knowledge, ecology, distinct languages and dialects, and so on. I sometimes think of us as the unseen in plain sight, or so it seems we become, even on our own lands. Unseen as a forest's dark tree line waving along the night sky, or the base coat on a canvas painting, or grief behind a smile. Yet to be unseen here on our land, make no mistake, is the consequence of willful and intentional unseeing. X marks this difference. For instance, here I am, sitting next to you. I see you, but you choose not to see me. What freedom you've given me to watch and observe detail, to hear a conversation not meant for my ears, perhaps in order to write what I need to. This serves me. Perhaps just for the moment, I accept these conditions between you and me as treaty. X marks the cross, the shape, the can't, the should, the shirt, the shoes, the cloth, the school, the seat, the shift, the shunned, the shock, the sound, the shame, the change, the chill, the child, a child within, my child beside me. I must say that Jeff and I became very familiar with this list of names to do some of our work together. X marks the great disruption, a phrase I use for the forceful break in native language use through U.S. education, i.e. boarding schools that ensured our grandparents and parents would not speak Lakota in those facilities, not even to lament Iyo Makshishche. I'm sorry, guys, for my pronunciation, under their breath. X marks the breath that provides necessary oxygen to keep the body alive. Look, he's breathing, therefore he's alive. Or controlled breath to give sound to words, i.e., she is speaking, so our language is alive. Or breath in the collective body of our people, i.e., I assure you, we will tell the stories of what has happened, regardless of the language we use. Yet X marks an assurance our language will not die. When an elder says this, I believe him. Not because of statistics or research, but because of his demeanor. His relaxed shoulders, his fingers interlocked across his round tummy, a calmness in his face, the warm and measured cadence of his voice. I believe him because he embodies Lakota. X marks embodiment. I propose that our language is more than vocabulary. We communicate in the way we carry ourselves. Let's be at ease then. Why not? Let's not hurt, guilt, or pressure each other. I know a few phrases in our language, and so do you. When we're together, sister, we speak mostly in English. But when it's time to part, you always smile and say, Doksha ake. Warmth is your way, and your word choice reflects this. So X marks my belief that form precedes content. Contrary to what some poets say, meaning our manner, our form as a people, determines the language we will use. I don't like to be hurried or rushed. I move at my own pace, one step at a time. When we see each other again, mashke, I know I'll know a few more phrases, and so will you. I'm so sorry that the type is like this big on my so I'm so sorry. Is there a way to make it bigger? It's just teeny tiny. How can we do that? Oh, have a sip of water. Okay. It's literally like let's see if there's a way. Oh, that's better. I'm so sorry about that, guy. It was like, what is happening? Okay. Oh, I feel so much better. Okay. Okay, I can breathe now. All right. X marks my love for oral languages. So I often think, what if? What if Lakota had remained an oral language? And Hechetu, that's how it is, if we want to understand it. What would I do then, without the visual aid of text? How would I learn? X marks the only way to learn an oral language, to listen and hold conversations with relatives, friends, and community. X marks the days, weeks, and years it takes to speak in various settings, artfully, wisely, colorfully, or modestly. Each word like butter, each sentence a tasty bite, you might say. X marks the history, stories, jokes, songs, and lessons we listen to attentively, then hold in our memory as heirlooms. X marks the day I might share my own stories without a word of English. X marks the burning questions I can finally ask and likewise know when not to. X marks the gestures, tone, and inflections that turn ordinary dialogue into music. X marks a language identity that requires our humanity and connection. So I am moved to say X marks Lakota language as a living being with its own feelings. When it is welcomed and comfortable, it lights up a house. In certain places, it gasps for breath. It lives for and because of us. Isn't that how family feels for one another? It asks for little in return, except that we spend time with it. Now and then, it asks us to hold it close and protect it. When I hear or speak Lakota, it's as if momentarily all my needs are met. I'm full. I'm content. For this reason, X marks our language as the most generous relative. This is also why, in its absence, I ache. Now I want to say I am dedicating this to Dyani. This next section. So this is sort of a follow-up to the 184 X's. So in that 184 X's, everything is X marks, X marks, X, and so on. And I was sort of addressing some of the articles of our treaty. I chose mostly two articles, the Article 2 that deals with land and Article 7 that deals with education or outlines the parameters, the agreements for that. But after a while, I found that I was getting tired of just addressing all the problems and wrongdoings. I began to feel very heavy, so I really wanted to also I wanted to do something lighter and kind of honor our leaders, which is really all of the X's. That was really the intention anyway. So this is dedicated to the 184 Ocheti Shakoin, Hinonoe, and Nitsitapi leaders who signed the 1868 Treaty of Fort Laramie. May their radiant names glow as poems among the Wichachbi Oyate, Star Nation, freed from the tether of X's. So what I did is I made all these constellations with their names because I found that their names are so visual, they're so beautiful, and really they are just like poems to me. So I made constellations to have their own stories and poems in the sky. So tonight I said this is dedicated to Dyani, so I'm reading the Sichangu leaders. You're making me cry. Stop it. You better stop. I have to read, so be quiet now. So this was super fun because in my own head, each of these constellations has a story. You can make up your own, of course, but the little groups, they're all doing something in the sky. Swift bear, fast bear, and bear that looks behind. Wide eye and cold place. white bull, sacred bull, and blackhorn. Dayhawk, hawk cloud, 2 and 2. I have to say, actually, in our tribe, we know 2 and 2 is tutu, if you guys know that family. Anyway, Dayhawk, hawk cloud, 2 and 2, standing elk, bad elk, and big partisan. Whitetail and spotted tail. Tall man, eye lance, brave heart, and bad left hand. Pretty crow, red leaf, and iron shell. Big dog and stands and comes. Aren't their names so beautiful? I love them. Isn't that person there so beautiful? And that's it, Wopila. Thank you.
Ha matakyapi. Who's learned how to say it? Ha matakyapi. Oh ha lila washte. We had language classes so that people at the Walker could learn how to greet people in Lakota, Dakota, how to say the titles of work in the exhibition. And they have all their language learning and land learning initiatives here at the Walker, which kind of brings me into some of the things that I was hoping to talk about tonight. Me and Layli don't have a lot of time for this part. And my head is swimming around like I had a plan. And then you spoke, and then my brain went into a bazillion different directions of things I'd like to talk about, but we don't have time for it all. But I want to just start with saying, Wopila Tanka, you are a beautiful, amazing human, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for you, Mashke. I'm so grateful to call you friend and sister. And this is exactly why I asked. So for those of you who don't know and don't have the catalog for the exhibition yet, please go get one. There's a beautiful essay by Layli in the catalog. And it was very important for me that in the exhibition and in the catalog, because so much of my work is grounded in Lakota philosophy, Lakota worldviews, spirituality, teachings, understanding that the voices, that there are many, many voices that represent these ideas that are far-reaching beyond my own opinions or artistic expressions. Our community is not about singularity. Our Lakota worldview is very much grounded in the perspective and the knowledge. I don't even want to say it's perspective. The deep knowledge that we are all related, every single one of us, across all of life, all of humanity, all of life, the earth, the land, all of it. Mitaku Iwasi embodies this perspective of relatedness. And so it was really important to me that there's other Lakota perspectives presented in the catalog and in the exhibition. So in the exhibition, we have community videos, we have community audio, different community members sharing from different perspectives. And in the catalog, our dear friend Mary Bordeaux is in the catalog as well, and Layli's perspective, and then we have other beautiful relatives that are in the catalog as well. But your essay, we got, I think, 10 minutes. Hurry. Woo!
You can do it.
So I'm going to do my best to tee it up, and then I'm going to let you. I'm the Q, she's the A. Layli's essay travels this beautiful storyline that connects personal history, regional history, national history, international history, government to government relations, community relations, institutional community relations, all in like 1.5 pages. Profoundly well. I'll let you talk a little bit about how it approached, how you got to that space, and maybe you can, summarize it a little bit for them. But one of the things that I wanted to maybe hear you speak about a little bit in addition to the essay itself is the moment that we're in here in Minnesota right now under continued attack. We have relatives currently again in Fort Snelling. And yet here we sit as community in the Walker, from which we had a tremendous moment of hurt and division between the Indigenous community and this institution. And I've just been thinking, I wrote it on my wall as I was painting yesterday, repair. And what that means, and what it looks like, how it's possible. And I'm just keep thinking about the fact that, we saw and experienced collectively major division between this institution and our communities. And yet, through concentrated work and effort and real sincerity, we all get to sit here in a moment of complete chaos in our own community and be as relatives together in this space, in a place of love and grief and healing and all of the things that we need to nurture ourselves to get through this moment. So that's a big, long-winded question, but however you want to respond to it.
Well, I don't even know what the question is, though.
Essay. Yeah, I'd like you to talk just a little bit about your essay, just to summarize. But then also, you touch within your, I guess I didn't tell them because I wanted you to, I was hoping you might be able to, but you speak about your dad's relationship, repair through your dad's relationship. You speak about the history here in Minnesota. You speak about the history and the division between the Walker and the community here. You speak about repair and what that looks like in your essay. And we have, again, I guess for me, I just keep thinking about what does, why couldn't you why were you not able to take the apology of the US government seriously? But we are able to sit and have this moment in the Walker because of the work of repair. What does that look like? What does it feel like? And how do we all actively embody that? And then just especially thinking about that and what we're all facing right now. Does that make sense? I know it's big and broad, but I do think it's all connected.
Yeah. Okay. It's a big one. Okay. When I wrote Whereas, this is what I talked about in the essay, I spent a lot of time thinking about apology. I also researched apologies. So different national apologies, for example, the apology in Canada. This is not, and the US apology to Native people certainly wasn't the first apology. That I also mentioned that. There's an apology to Black Americans, also the interned Japanese Americans who also, I think, received some form of reparation. Native Hawaiian people for the taking of, with their queen, to the taking of the land. And so I spent a lot of time thinking about apology and what makes it effective and not effective. And so then I talked about the apology with my father, and that to me was the most effective. God bless him. I feel so weird because he's not here. I always talk about him in that moment when I was young. But that moment I wrote about in Whereas, when he apologized for things that happened in his parenting. He just couldn't be there for me when he was younger. I mean, he was a young man when I was born too, Like, we have to love, we have to forgive, we have to understand interpersonally that who you were when you were 20 is very different than who you are when you're 40, right? Those are things that we have to journey through as family members, as relatives, right? But to some degree, we have to understand that sometimes also in our community. So who and what the walker, who they were, let's say 5-10 years ago, it has changed. And I could also maybe reach my hand forward towards that invitation because of you, to be honest. I'll just be honest, it took one person in our community. You called up everyone personally and said, I want to try this. I would like to do this. And you reached out to your sisters, your relatives, me, Mary, and many other people. And so all of us together said, okay, if you're going to take this risk, then we'll take it with you. And we'll see how it goes, But God forbid anything goes wrong, because then you have a whole group of people. I'm kidding. But but Dyani, the thing is that Dyani didn't come by herself. She came with a whole community of support of artists and Native women and so on. And so we were with you, and I just hope you felt that moral support. We were behind you and wanting the best for you. So that's very different than, let's say, this government apology that was sort of had no feeling, really no care put into it as far as human to human relation. That's the other thing, is there was a lot of care put into this show, into these relationships. Even the way that you welcomed me, I really, it's so, it makes all the difference. So yeah, that's part of it. And that's what I was getting at in Whereas, like with my dad. That's why it was so healing. I carried around like a whole childhood and young adulthood of pain. Like it was a black void. But the moment we sat down and I saw it was sincere, it was gone like that. He cried and he said, I'm so sorry, And I knew it was real, and it was done. You see, look at how beautiful, how miraculous that kind of gesture can be when it's heartfelt, and when someone shows that they have actually made change as well. They're not just saying, I'm sorry, and they're going to repeat it. Like you can see, and those are things I talked about in the essay too. Yeah.
That's basically everything I was hoping you would talk about. And it's, I know, is it done in 1 minute? Oh, 2 more questions. I was like, 2 more minutes? And that's essentially, I just kept thinking about the word repair, and breaking it down to the idea of repairing, bringing 2 entities or more than 2 entities back together. And it is possible. And it is part of, I think, our collective responsibility to do as best as we can to at least for me personally, just speaking from what we're taught, our own value system, and what I'm trying to communicate in this exhibition, and what we do our best to embody as relatives, as Lakota relatives, is, living with a value system that honors our relationality. And there are times when we may inadvertently, and there are times out of our own, we talked about this a bit last night, our own traumas, our own past pains, our own lack of love, our own lack of nurturing, our own challenges within our own lives, we may inflict pain on one another. And sometimes that's done intentionally, out of pain, right? Or out of a lack of knowing so far, out of a lack of growth and development. And so why I was thinking, I think about, I can't help, I think all of us that live here right now can't help but think every moment about what's happening outside of this space right now. But when in your essay, when you compare a sincere apology, a sincere effort towards repair, which we saw demonstrated through this exhibition, which we've seen the Walker demonstrate to community, which you felt in your relationship with your father, and why we struggle so hard to believe an apology from the U.S. government. I guess I'm just living in the moment of, and this is why. Watching the actions that we're watching right now take place in our community with such tremendous violence being targeted towards our Indigenous relatives south of the so-called border, and the way that they're going after Native communities, which is profoundly absurd, is just such a tremendous illustration of why those apologies fall flat. So I don't know if, and I know we don't have to talk all about what's happening right now as for the rest of the questions, but I don't know if there's anything else that is of interest in that statement for you to expound upon in relationship to the sincerity of apology, or even the ideas of prepare, or what that looks like, or if you want to just move on to another question, or is there any thoughts that you have in response to that?
I mean, not really about that, but like you did mention our relatives like from south of the US border, and all I have to say in love and care and respect for our relatives from there is they're people of the land. They're part of this land. You're not ever going to get rid of them. Just like the American gays, they like to, I hear a lot of people say, even very liberal people, when they talk about, quote, genocide here in the U.S., they like to say, and then they killed all the Indians. I'm like, no, they didn't. Like, you're not helping anything. You're not helping by, erasing us once again. Like, we're not going anywhere. We're here because we are people of the land. That's just how it is. It's like saying, I mean, it's just not happening. And so even what's happening now, it's not going to change. They are our relatives. They are part of this land. It's not going to change. They are always going to be here, part of the fabric, part of this place. So that's my kickback. Just want to say I had to get that in.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
And I think this is in my humble opinion, I mean, it's very scary, but what I want to say is we have been, even our own people, like this 184Xs, we have been through our own apocalypse several times. Our parents went through our grandparents went through a kind of apocalypse that is unthinkable. The things that my dad, you know what, recently I did this, I interviewed my dad for something else, like it was a project. I interviewed him about buffalo hide painting. It was so fun because I've never slowed down and actually asked him about his own practice, and it was super fun. So me and my kid went up to visit, and he showed us his studio, but I was actually for the first time asking him specific. I was always shy to do that before, but now I'm getting old, so I asked him and so on. And this was the first time in his life to us that I heard him kind of open up a little bit about boarding school. He had never really, whenever he talked about it in the past, he would always talk about it in very, like he would make jokes, or he would never talk about anything upsetting. Yeah. And this was the first time he shared just a little bit. And I think it's because he's getting older and like he a little bit not as guarded, you know. But my point is that, you know, my kid and I were driving home and we were just like, it was very moving, really, to think about what our parents and your mom too, what they went through, what they held in their bodies, you know. So we have been through, as a community, we've been through those moments when it felt bleak. It felt, you know, and nonetheless, we have also had then following that, like right now, the place we're at with our young people, our young children are so excited to speak our languages. Look, we went through that period when we couldn't even, my father couldn't even speak his language in those schools. And now our own children take so much pride when they can sing our songs and speak our language. That is incredible, you know. So those are the things I try to keep in mind. I know it's very hard right now. We're in the dark time, right? But that other side, there's the other side to it. That's all I can say.
There's a lot of, I'm so glad to hear you speak about all of that, because it is so hard and it's so scary. And we have long and deep histories within this land base of resistance, of resilience, of pushing back against exactly these kinds of moves for centuries. You can look to the Native community, you can look to Black and Brown communities, you can look to communities that have faced this for generations for guidance and for strength. You can go visit powwow grounds and buy a coffee and contribute to the protectors that are out there already. There's a fire in the parking lot going, go visit. Go make relatives, go make relations, be with people.
Like even that in itself, do you know, okay, I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but you're going to guess it's going to be close. Because do you know, even it was within my lifetime that we got our religious freedom.
Me too.
Native people.
Me too, yep. Yeah.
That's crazy.
2 years after I was born.
Correct.
The Indian Religious Freedom Act. Like it was against the law for us to practice our spirituality.
We could not even pray.
Yeah, in our lifetimes.
Within our lifetimes, that's correct.
And we're not that old.
Yeah. That's crazy. So the fact that, for example, where did Arvel go to?
Where did he go from here? What do you mean?
No.
He was just here this week.
Yeah, and he prayed. Didn't he pray?
At Powwow Grounds. Yeah, in the parking lot of Powwow Grounds. Yeah.
That in itself is like, that was not a privilege our parents had.
Right.
You would never do that in public, ever.
Yeah.
Like to go to Powwow Grounds and have a fire outside in the middle, you know, and people are, no, we didn't do that. So, you know, we have to like, I don't want to preach and make everything like overly positive, but those are still things I try to hang on to. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
One more thing. I would love to, is beautiful. I was moved listening to your newest poems. What made you decide to go into grief for the overarching, for the artistic presentation and then the responses. What brought you to that space in this moment?
Okay, well, that was actually from 2017, an exhibit. Yeah. So I made those boxes and I had them at a gallery in Canada. So that was actually, the reason is it was a very difficult year. 2016 to 2017, I had like 3 major losses. And it always felt like every time I started to get on my feet, then something, it was horrible. It was like the worst year. And so my only way of dealing with it was, they invited me to do that. That's all I could think about was grief. So I made that. But the beautiful thing is, I want to say just on that note, because I know there's a lot of people going through some form of loss and those things right now. When I got all those pieces of paper and I put them on the table, just to look at them and start thinking about poems, it was the most comforting and beautiful thing. Like, I saw, for example, there were maybe 25, 30 pieces of paper that said why. It was so amazing. All these people that did not know each other, they were putting it in anonymously. Everyone was asking why. Another one was like probably 20 little pieces of paper that said something like, how long will this last? When will this end? Am I going to feel like this forever? Basically the same question over and over. And so what I wanted to say is that for me, it was comforting. I said, this is what it is. It's okay. It's a human thing. Yes. And it just lasts as long as it lasts. Mm-hmm. It's okay. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was meaningful for me to listen to it. I'm going to be extremely personal and vulnerable for a minute here with you all. I lost my younger brother at the beginning of, in October last year. And this exhibition opened in October this year. So I went through this entire year of prep for this exhibition in like the deepest form of grief I've ever experienced. So to sit here and to listen to what I did not know that you were going to be presenting, because I don't know what your new book is going to be yet. It's not out yet. For me to have those particular poems in this particular space, in this moment for me, and that has been one of my deepest lessons throughout this year, grief is such a profound, it is a human experience, and none of us, if we're blessed to be here for an extended period of time, get to live through this experience without having an encounter with grief. Mm-hmm. None of us get to move through this time without loss. And it just brings me back to this, to our teachings, to this, deep understanding that, collectively we are human together. We are here together. We're all blessed to be here together at the same time. Different moments, different times, different travels. But, and then it was just really reinforced with that same theme was what felt so prominent in your pieces, just the humanity, deep humanity across all of humanity, of it all. And then the different forms, not just of person-to-person loss, loss of identity, or loss of safety, or loss of bodily autonomy, or loss of all of these, different forms of grief. It was, what a beautiful offering that you gave to the folks that visited that. What did it feel like to write this many years afterwards from that experience?
Or to make those poems so long after the exhibit? Well, I'm a slow writer. That's the main thing. And so that's just how it is. It takes me forever. And so So those poems actually went through, I don't know how many different forms, maybe 3, 4, 5 different versions. I think Jeff saw maybe 1 or 2 of the previous versions. And so that's part of my process. I'll just be honest. I often tell my students, for me, I budget in about 80% of my time for failure. So I do. That's what I do. So I just I just say, okay, I'm gonna. It's mostly about trying. That is my approach. I'm gonna say, oh, what would happen if I try this? I just try it. There's no harm in it. And then also with Word document, you can just press the back arrow, and you can go. If you don't like it, you can try it, and then you can go back. So I just do that, and I keep trying. So I wrote a few sets from that exhibit starting way back in 2017, 2018. But over the years, so I would sit with it, and then, but something would, I feel like, kind of hold on. And then I would feel, okay, that was great, but that was only to get me to the next place. So this is where they're at now. Maybe when I'm 70, 80, I'll be revising them again. So I don't know.
Could be, that's all right. I think it's time to move to the book signing. If you don't have Whereas yet, do yourself a favor and get it tonight. It is one of the best, most moving. It's one of my favorite books of all time, to be completely honest. It's such a gift. I'm so grateful you came to join us tonight. Wopila, my friend, thank you so much for gifting us all with your beauty of spirit and mind and heart.
Oh, thank you. I just want to say to you guys too, I do apologize for my reading. I feel like I was a little bit off. And no, number one, the letters were so small, but also, I just want to commend all of you because I've only been here one day and I could not sleep last night. I was awake every 30 minutes and I was so tired today. But I'm just a visitor. I'm a guest, and I can go home. So I wanted to say, God bless all of you. I know I can't imagine. I've only been here a day, and it's it's hard to think, and it was hard to concentrate in my usual manner. So thank you, everyone, and God bless you. And you're going to be in my heart and my prayers. So thank you.